Greetings, humanity, from Sandusky, Ohio. Today we are at Cedar Point, and we're so excited to be here for HalloWeekends. We are also excited to ride a couple of roller coasters that just opened up this season, including Siren's Curse, the new gen Vekoma tilt coaster here, the tallest one in the US, the only one open, the second one open in the world, right after Gravity Max in Taiwan. And that big one that you see behind me with that big top hat, Top Thrill 2. We are so excited to get on that. Currently the tallest operating roller coaster in the world.
And as always, we'll be checking out the different types of escapes this park offers during HalloWeekends, which definitely includes how the production of the haunted attraction supports all of the scares. I'm so excited, particularly about this park, because Cedar Point is the park that I used to go to as a child. This was my home park. I grew up in the city of Detroit, so it was a short 2.5 hours away. So it's really great to be here again, as I've been here many times as a grown adult. So be sure to just subscribe to our channel, tap the notification bell, and you'll be able to see all our videos in the Halloween Humanities series. We're so happy to be here.
Let's go check it out. All right, so we just got our wristbands for the haunted attractions. Again, just like Kings Island, these are necessary for this year's haunt events. So make sure you get these. These were just $10 today. Some days they're a little bit more expensive, especially if you buy them on site at the park. I recommend getting them online because they're a little cheaper that way. But you need them in order to go into the indoor attractions. So The Conjuring is sold out today, and we already did that at Kings Island anyway, so that's that. We're just going to move on, do all the other haunts, do all the other attractions that we intended to do here, and then make our way around the park. So here's the park map. You can see how enormous this place is. It's got a gigantic midway.
And so today we parked in the overflow lot. This is the first time I've ever done this. It is that crowded here. So we are here between Siren's Curse and Top Thrill. Actually, this way.
Yeah, that way.
Yep, and you can see where we entered.
Yep, so it's this entrance, not the entrance by Gatekeeper, but the one, it kind of looks like an overflow lot. It's near the water park, which is shut down, of course, for the season. But yeah, we're gonna make our way all the way around this gigantic park today and check out all that the park has to offer for HalloWeekends.
And keep in mind, if you're coming during HalloWeekends, it is a busier time of year. You might be directed to the overflow parking lot, which is kind of neat because we were dropped off just at where the lift hill is for Magnum, so we get a different entry point into the park.
All right, so some of their Halloween props are already set up over here. That one says Pumpkin Hollow on it. And we're right next to Top Thrill 2. You can see the spike just ahead. We're about to get on Top Thrill 2. And there's a lot of queue chaos going on. Look at this crowd trying to get into the roller coaster.
Please step aside, and we will allow the entire group to.
So we just got off Top Thrill 2, the tallest operating roller coaster in the world. Check this out. Wow, that was my first strata coaster, the largest coaster that I've ever ridden, the largest coaster that we have ever ridden by leaps and bounds, right? The tallest one I've ridden before this is probably Millennium Force, Orion after that. Pretty big coasters, but that is humongous. What did that feel like when you were riding it? Because I feel speechless right now.
Yeah, I'm struggling to find the words. All I know is that when we got on the coaster, we were waiting for the launch, I was doing lots of self-talk. I said to myself, I am brave. We are brave. We are so brave on this train. And then I really do. Okay, I've had to face my fears in my roller coaster journey. I feel like I've scaffolded myself to work up to this point, to ride this colossal beast. I'm just proud. I'm proud I did it. It was extremely thrilling. It was faster than I ever could have imagined. When we went to the locker, I immediately grabbed my water bottle. I felt like I hadn't had anything to drink in months. My face was flying back. My cheeks were flapping.
Yeah, all of that, right? It just leaves you speechless because your body goes through so much on that roller coaster. It doesn't feel like a roller coaster, really. It feels like you're flying in a jet when you hit that third launch and you go over that top hat. You think when you go over that top hat that you're going to slow down. It doesn't feel like it's slowing down at all up there. You get loads of airtime, ejector up there, and then you're whipped back down, and it feels like you're going fast the entire time. It never feels like you're slowing down.
You know what I noticed? When we were going over the top hat, it was almost like my whole backside of my body heated up.
Yeah.
And started tingling, like I was feeling parts of myself that I maybe haven't felt in a while. I don't know if you felt that?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I feel like I'm on the wing of an airplane right now. I don't feel like I'm on a roller coaster anymore. Amazing, amazing ride. If you've not ridden Top Thrill 2, you should get out here to Cedar Point to try it. The name Top Thrill 2, it evokes this sense of speed, as though you're riding in a race car. There's these images on the station that says CP Racing, and it has these folks wearing the helmets as though they're racing in race cars. So it's stylized in that way, and it feels like more than that. It doesn't feel like a race car. That thing feels like a jet. It's so fast.
I can't stop studying it. When we were in the queue, I watched it over and over and over again and was watching the motions and the speed and to see the height that it would reach on the spike, and I still am just mesmerized by this thing. I cannot stop looking at it.
Yeah, speaking of the spike, that big element back there, and anyway, that spike, very cool element, because when you get launched backwards after it rolls back after the first launch from the top hat, you go backwards 100 miles an hour, and then you go up this spike, and you've got all this floater airtime. This is when you really start to feel how overwhelmingly big this roller coaster really is. Loads of floater airtime right there, and then you've got this near miss moment coming down, right? There, you go back into the station. I had my hands up, and I was like, oh my god, I feel like my hands are going to get chopped off. But before I hit that second launch, or before I hit that third launch, rather.
That part surprisingly scared me the most, and I wasn't anticipating that. I felt like I didn't have enough protection for my head, and I could have used a helmet in that moment.
Yeah, very, very good near miss moment there. So this coaster is not just a one-trick pony. It doesn't just launch and go over top hat. You've got a forward launch. You've got a backwards launch that goes even faster. You've got a spike with some air time on it. Then you've got a drop from that spike with a near miss moment. Then a final launch that sends you way over 100 miles per hour. Then you go over the top hat at incredible speed, and you get whipped to the other direction on the way down from that as you're dropping from the other side of that top hat. So fantastic ride. I could talk about this all night. I think I should just stop right there. What do you think?
I'm still feeling perplexed. I feel like I might have more reflections on it later. I'm stunned.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah, so I think we're just going to stop right there. We're going to go check out some haunts, check out the Halloween stuff. Stick with us. Okay, to show you how popular this ride is, look at the approximate wait times and how they're measured. So they are measured in hours. They're not measured in minutes or increments of 5 minutes or 15 minutes, but hours. From 1 to 5. Got a little pumpkin motif going on. There are just thousands and thousands of these pumpkins all over this side of the park so far. Very, very cool.
Can I hitch a ride to Top Thrill 2?
Roar! Get off my roller coaster! Here's a first look at the merch here. Cedar Point HalloWeekends. Both of these shirts, very cool.
Oh, look it, if it isn't the eyes of Aaron.
And a few more. Right, we're going to check out Mr. Midnight Sphere Emporium. This is going to have some of their Halloween merch. Alright, we got some shirts, some hoodies down here, some plushies. I like these a lot. Got these bloody eyeballs and pumpkins on it, little ghosts. These are great. Feed the fear, taste the terror. Cedar Point, extra deadly, no butter. Okay. So this is the shop to come to if you want your Halloween merch here. There's just loads of it here. We got the Haunting of Erie Estate. That is one of the haunts, right? It's one of the ongoing haunts that they have all the time here at Cedar Point. And just like Kings Island, they also have the Nobu necklaces if you don't want to be scared. They're $17.99 here, and here they are. You can see how you can turn them on and keep them on to show the scare actors that you don't want to be terrified by them. If I were to take a wild guess, I would think that this guy right here does not want us going into his house. So we're going to go inside Midnight now. It's one of the haunts here. This is our first of the night. What does the description say?
Mr. Midnight invites you into his mysteriously evil residence, where you will be introduced to the Book of the Dark and all the fears, terrors, and horrors living within its pages. And it's located right next to Gatekeeper, at the front of the park.
So a question I have about this one is it seems like it's alluding to a lot of different children's movies that have horror themes to them, right? I'm going to try to figure out what that's alluding to because, the book, you open it up, it's got creepy things in it, you're not supposed to be reading it. That's in a lot of movies, right? I'm going to try to figure out what I can pinpoint in this one. Let's go check it out.
All right.
The quickening thunder of your heart, the poison of your blood. I am Mr. Midnight.
We just came out of midnight, and wow, that was a little more frightening than I thought it would be. Lots of jump scares in that one, right?
Yes, absolutely. I definitely found myself more than once feeling aghast, like I literally was gasping for air. I was that frightened. There were just a lot of narrow pathways. The scare actors were really effective at giving me the chills.
Yeah, they did a very good job of scaring you in that one. They did a really good job on the makeup with these scare actors. This group, they looked like all kinds of different things. One of them had a fan that she used to scare you. She kind of flipped it out at you just before you walked through the doorway. And lots of things like that were happening throughout the house. At the end, we saw the guy with the top hat with the book, and it seemed like what that was suggesting is that that book at the end is what was causing all of those scary things to happen throughout the house, right?
I definitely would say so. Yeah. How about that one room we walked into with the black and white checkered floors with the red sort of velvety curtains?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's kind of an artsy moment in there. It reminded me a lot of like abstract films, Twin Peaks, kind of like Star Trek, that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, it was very creative. Yeah, for sure.
What I think that was really alluding to, at least in my mind, if you've ever read that Goosebumps book, Under the Magician's Spell, we see some scares coming out of the house now. It reminds me a lot of Under the Magician's Spell, although a little more terrifying. That was a legit haunt, lots of scares in that one, and with some tight spaces. There were also some air blasts in there, and then some actors who looked like props at first, and then you woke them up as you started walking into the next room, and they scared the crap out of you. I thought that was very effective.
Absolutely, especially that one person in the chair with the spider web painted to her scalp. That was pretty creepy.
Yeah. Great haunt. I recommend it. If you're going to come out to Cedar Point, check out Midnight. Really good experience.
Ooh. If it isn't the Boneyard Jamboree.
We're about to walk into the haunting of Erie Estate. What does the description say?
The Haunting of Erie Estate. Be a part of Erie Society of the Paranormal's latest investigation and explore the abandoned Erie Estate, long rumored to have ghostly tenants that roam the halls. So I'm curious who currently owned the building, who currently was occupying the building, what is their life like, what is their past like, what other people maybe have visited the building. Just more information on that, the tenants.
Yeah, if there are going to be any characters at all, or if it's just going to be you're part of this team investigating and you're just going to see a bunch of ghosts in there. Let's go find out.
Great.
We have a graveyard out here, probably for some of the ghosts in this haunt, and some sounds to set the tone for this one. Very cool.
Don't touch any of the monsters, just go to the house, they'll scare you, they'll get near you.
We just finished up with the haunting of Erie Estate. One of the first things I noticed when we were walking into the estate were these giant human-sized portraits and brass frames of a multitude of different people. So when talking and thinking about the theming, I was wondering, are these the people who used to live here, perhaps, in the present or years ago? And you walk through that first room or so and you didn't see any of the scare actors yet. It was just the variety of these portraits.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of the Tower of Terror when you first walk into the building, the hotel, just before you get checked in there. You know how you've got all those old rooms with the cobwebs on them? It's kind of like what it's like in there. There were these amazing practical sets that really set the tone in this one. I feel like tone is important. It's not just about the scares, it's about how the practical sets and how the production contribute to those scary opportunities as well, right? And this one did a fantastic job with the practical sets, right?
Oh, absolutely. There was one room that was a bar, like an older vintage sort of bar. There was a bartender behind the bar, and he was holding 3 or 4 glasses and kind of had his head sunken in between the glasses, frozen. And when we walked through the room, he picked up the glasses and he slammed them on the bar. There were stools surrounding the bar. There was also a room with a piano. Mm-hmm. There was a musician behind the piano who kind of went for that same vibe where she was frozen with her music, with her fingers on the keys, and you had to kind of walk around her to get out of that particular room. There was just lots of really interesting themed rooms in the estate.
It looks like a place that may have been owned by someone who was rich, given the fact that there was a piano in there. There were all these artifacts that look like a rich person might own, right?
Right, and a lot of the scare actors appeared to be people who may have been working there at one time. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So very interesting haunted house. I was impressed by it, especially with the practical sets.
Oh, for sure. It was very scary as well. It definitely scared the crap out of me more than once.